get these for you. And when I saw these flowers, I thought they were really beautiful, which reminded me of you. So I killed them. Anyway, I brought them here, and you might want to put some water if you want them to die slowly. So anyways, I spent the whole week memorizing my lines over and over and over again. I watched Disney Snow White 7 times, so I could imitate the prince's swag? Swag, right? Is that what you kids call it nowadays? So I thought I had this audition in the bag, or so I thought. After we auditioned, I imagined the bling bling of the shiny crown on my head, but instead I got a smelly mustache, an oversized hat, and a pat on the back. I was a dwarf. And to add insult to injury, Alex Lewis, who didn't even audition for this part, got the role of the prince. Alex is a girl. I was mortified. Why did I have to be so short? And I'll be honest, I am a huge mama's boy. So after I found out, I went crying home to my mama, but she wasn't having any of it. She told me, son, come on now. I didn't raise you like that. Don't let your size limit you, because even if you're smaller than everyone else, that just means you have to dream a little bit bigger. So that just goes to show how unpredictable life can be. One day you're on top of the world, like you just got an A on your AP chemistry test, which I seldom do, but then life hits you hard, in the face, like your dad just lost his job, and you don't know what a home is anymore. Life loves to throw you under the bus in situations you don't want to be in. But regardless, every situation in life is a learning opportunity, even if we don't realize it at first. Whatever the situation, you have to put your best foot forward. So I put my best foot forward, which wasn't very far because I have short legs. Oh, fun-sized legs. I went in the next day with a more positive attitude. Through my hard work as a dwarf, I supported everyone around me by making them better. In our role as environmental leaders, positivity is everything. Global warming, bad. Deforestation, bad. Wasting water, bad. We are fighting for a cause where we are constantly surrounded by bad problems. But we have to think positively if we want to come up with good, creative solutions. We can't always choose our external circumstances, but we can choose how we respond to them. I learned more about leadership by being a dwarf than all the leadership YouTube videos and leadership games combined. I assume we are all young environmentalists here, or you'd be at the wrong conference. Now, I know there is a negative stigma among adults that all young people are immature teenagers with faces plagued with acne. And while that acne statement might be true, we have much more potential than most people think. Leadership comes in all shapes and sizes, and I've met plenty of adults that act like children, and plenty of children that act like adults. We want to be young forever, but we are not forever young. Before we know it, we'll be sitting on a couch, reflecting on the years we let pass by our fingertips, and asking, what if? What if I could have done more? What if I don't have a good career established? What if I never get married? Which probably will be true for me because I still try to give dead flowers to girls. And then it'll be too late. So make a promise to me. Don't grow up too fast. Peter Pan didn't want to grow up, and it ended well for him. He has a movie, and he can fly. And which makes me kind of feel bad, because I can't even make my bed. And so to solve today's environmental problems, we need to incorporate the ideas of everyone to make creative solutions. That's right. You can make a difference. 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 Sorry, I just had an Oprah moment right there. But move over, Buffett and Gates. We have some new philanthropists in town, and we're not waiting for permission to make a change. Essentially, we have to use our youth for our advantage and hold ourselves with pride and regard. The International Young Environmentalist Youth Summit is a place where you won't find anywhere else. Greening Forward and its wonderful partners have tried to make this summit worth it. But what you take out of it depends on you. You have this wonderful opportunity in front of you, an opportunity millions of young people across the globe do not have the chance to have. So we can't waste it. And I have seen these kids firsthand. When I was 12, my family and I visited Bangladesh, where my parents were born. I hadn't been there since I was a wee little squirt blossom. So I didn't know much about it, except that it was a very poor nation. But despite this, my mother used to tell me stories of her fantastic childhood growing up in Bangladesh. She recalled the time where she would hide in the rice paddies, right? Because it's like a lot of farmland, so people just hid in the rice paddies for fun. And so when an unsuspecting farmer or fisherman passed by, she'd jump out and scare the curry out of him, right? And she recalled watching the sunset at the lake, counting the clouds as they drifted by overhead. She recalled running through lush green fields and eating berries. And I wanted to do this all. It seemed exciting. I wanted to make this trip something I could brag to my friends about. For instance, if my friend came up to me and he said, "Hey, Hasib, I jumped off a plane, wrestled an orangutan, and found Bigfoot during my trip." Beat that. Lame. I went to Bangladesh. I was expecting to find fun and adventure, but instead I found a lot of suffering. As soon as I got off that plane, which was a pretty long trip, I think it was long. So as soon as I got off that plane, the smoggy Bangladeshi air constricted my lungs, making it very difficult to breathe, because there's a lot of smog and pollution in the air there. The roads were rickety and battered. Heck, the roads didn't even have lanes, so the traffic there made rush hour in Atlanta look like a NASCAR race. The worst part, though, was the people. There were so many people in such a small space. Poor, struggling, begging people. Many of whom were sick and elderly, but many, many more were poor, abandoned children. Imagine being abandoned by your parents because they couldn't afford to keep you, let alone keep themselves. You'd have to fend for yourself, finding rotten food off the side of the road to eat. Cries of sadness, misery, abuse reverberated throughout the city of Dhaka, which is the capital city. And even though I was with my family at the time, I felt alone because at that point, I didn't think I could do anything to help those people. I mean, because I was just one person, and there was millions of orphan children. So how could one person help all these people? So that's what I thought. And at that point, I felt an emptiness, not in my stomach like the millions of starving people, but in my conscience. Days passed, and I visited a small park, one of the only public green spaces in Dhaka. Even that was not bereft of the constant reminder of poverty. There was only one small playground and a stream running past it. And this stream was so polluted. There was like brown stuff going through there. It's like, I didn't even see any blue, So one corner of the park caught my eye. Homeless boys were selling flowers for about 10 US cents. These flowers that they were selling, they picked up from the same park. And so they were trying to sell these flowers to find something to buy something to eat. So I went over to one of those boys because I felt bad and I wanted to give him some money. So I went over and I didn't know Bengali that well, the language of the area, so I tried English. I told him, "Hello, could I buy a flower?" He just gave me a blank look. Probably thought I was an idiot. I tried again, but this time I used the universal language, a smile. Now, he didn't think I was an idiot. He just thought I was a bit creepy. But he understood what I meant, and I bought a flower. I could see fire burning in his eyes, a fire of change. They wanted to be in control of their lives, but poverty silenced their voices. I realized that this suppression of youth voice and involvement was one of the factors in Bangladesh's demise. In fact, I realized not even developed countries have been investing as much as they should on their young people, on us. I dream that all young people all over the world have a voice in their own futures. My passion was ignited. So when I got back to the United States, I wondered for a long time what I could do. How could I make a difference when I had trouble tying my shoes? So I asked the guru of knowledge, the master of information, the king of answers. I Googled it. At first, I searched, how can a 15-year-old save the world? But unfortunately, I got back images of Taylor Lautner and Harry Potter. Not exactly what I was looking for. So I refined my search for something more local. And after a couple more tries, I found an organization called Greening Forward, which was based in Gwinnett County. Greening Forward had a program manager position, and the rest is history. So all in all, don't wait to make a change. You are all remarkable young leaders here. The friendships you make here will stay with you for the rest of your life. The information you acquire here can be brought back to your communities, and this can trickle down and have such a lasting impact. And it all starts with you. So learn a lot, laugh more, and most importantly, live like a kid. I'd like to conclude with a quote from Apple. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. As young people, you all have the ability to see things in a way many people can't. Be that difference you want to see.